Okay, and next we have Governor Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan. She's been the governor of Michigan since 2019, former Democratic leader in the Michigan State Senate, and she delivered the Democratic response to President Trump's State of the Union address in February. She's been not very seriously considered. She has acknowledged that she has had contact with the Biden search team, but seems like a less prominent candidate than she was a few months ago. She ran for governor on a platform of rebuilding Michigan's broken roads, raising the minimum wage, and investing in education. Although the pandemic has been really the thing that has made her name known across the nation. Whitmer has described herself as having been friends with Biden for years. He endorsed her campaign for governor in 2018. She returned the favor before the Michigan presidential primary in March. Whitmer is a popular young leader from an important swing state who has played a major role in responding to the coronavirus, but she would not bring racial diversity to the ticket, and she has faced Republican attacks at home for engaging in national politics. And it looks like we have Skylar back. So we're gonna start with we're gonna have Sebastian say something quickly. So, Sebastian?
Yeah, I do. So I think it's very good that she's been handling coronavirus, because that's definitely something that the United States has not done the best of, the best job right now. So yeah, and also it's always good to have that boost from big states that can get you a lot of votes. So.
Okay, and Skylar, your thoughts on Gretchen Whitmer. Thank you for rejoining us. We talked about a couple candidates while you were gone, and we're glad you're now able to join us again.
Alright, Gretchen Whitmer, I don't really know enough about her to really say anything.
Okay.
She hasn't really been a major candidate this whole time.
So she was more major at the beginning, but you're right, she has been falling recently.
But even then, there were still a lot of people ahead of her.
Would you call it a crash and burn?
No. You could call it a crash and burn.
I mean, you could, but I don't think that's the right description.
One time wonder, you know. She was probably one of the most considered candidates near March and April, but a lot of things have changed. And now we have former Democratic leader in the Georgia House of Representatives, Stacey Abrams. Also former gubernatorial candidate in Georgia in 2018, leader of an advocacy group, Fair Fight Action, focused on voting rights. She has not been considered a lot. Some senior Democrats are supportive of Abrams, but she does not seem like a priority for the Biden campaign right now. Like I had said, she has really championed voting rights. She does not have a long-standing relationship with Biden, but they met privately last year as Biden was weighing his decision to enter the 2020 race, and his advisors were floating the idea of announcing a running mate during the Democratic primaries. She's also quoted saying, "I would be an excellent running mate. I have the capacity to attract voters by motivating typically ignored communities." Is it I want to ask you guys this question quickly. Is it a smart idea to publicly tell the media and the press that you would be a good vice president?
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
I believe you just let them pick you, maybe. I mean, that's what I believe. I mean, there's definitely some requirements for being a vice president. Like, you have to have that attraction to voters. You have to have that experience and a somewhat relationship to Biden. Those are the factors that I believe you need to be a vice president, and political experience. So.
Yeah. And, yeah, I would agree with that. I'm going to skip over the next one, Gina Raimondo, because she has not been considered nearly at all lately. So, you could call that a... Anyone want to finish the sentence? Crash and burn! Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Just hoping for something more bigger there, but yeah. And next we have Maggie Hassan, who is senator from New Hampshire since 2017, served as governor there from 2013 to 2017, and was previously the Democratic leader in the New Hampshire State Senate. She has not been too seriously considered, although she has agreed to be vetted by the Biden team. Like most top Democrats in the crucial primary state, Hassan has known Biden for some time. They're not especially close, but he consistently praised her during visits to the state last year when he was trying to win. Hassan has strong credentials as a governor and senator from a state Hillary Clinton barely won in 2016, but she is barely known outside New Hampshire. If she were elected vice president, a Republican governor would name her replacement. That would be Governor Sununu. Any thoughts?
Not really.
Sebastian?
Nope, I have to be with Skylar on this.
Yep. Okay. And then we have the withdrawn candidate, Amy Klobuchar, who announced on June 18th that she had withdrawn from the search process after renewed scrutiny of her record as a prosecutor greatly diminished her chances when protests swept her home state after the killing of George Floyd. Klobuchar found herself struggling to explain why she had not done more to take on police misconduct as district attorney of Hennepin County. Pulling out of the VP search, Klobuchar said she urged Biden in a phone call to choose a woman of color for the ticket. Yes. So, now we're just going to discuss this whole thing. Now that we've gone through all the candidates, is there any...
Yeah, one...
Pardon?
Yeah, so... I mean, I really don't believe that you should say someone's not good for not doing something. And like, I mean, that was farther back then too. And I mean, a lot of people weren't aware, just like her. So I don't think that's that they should be very mad at her. But like,
okay,
I guess it is what it is.
So I think it's fair for many people to be mad at her. Because while she did serve as the county attorney or whatever from 1999 to 2007, when she had won her seat in the Senate. Sometimes that's how it goes. Haha, Hamilton. So I think it's pretty fair because even though it might not have been 2020 then, when some people are more aware of this type of thing, she ignored a case of police brutality and didn't really do anything about it then. So I think it's pretty fair for people to be mad at her. But you're right, if we all go off of decisions that people had made that long ago, decisions will never be made. Yeah. So if we don't, yeah. So you're right. We can't go off of the past. If we keep going off the past, there won't be a substantial future. So you're right about that. Huh?
That's true.
Yeah. And quick question for you all, for you two, and I'll share my thing on this. After going through that list, and Skylar, you were gone for some of it, but I still want to ask you because of what you heard, you might have changed your opinion. Do you have any opinion changes on who you want, or on who you currently want? Like, have you changed who you want after going through all the people that are being vetted? And why?
No, I think that Elizabeth Warren is still in the lead for me because really just like what I've said at the beginning, she is a very strong candidate and she really knows how to get things done. All of the people we've listed would be competent vice presidents, but I think Warren would be the best.
Okay. And what I have a quick question. What would your
Yeah, by considering.
What would your response be to those that are saying that she wouldn't be good because she's not a woman of color?
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. I get that it would be a good thing to have a woman of color as our vice president because it would really just like kind of help the movement right now, but Elizabeth Warren, I think, would be good either way.
Yeah. But I think one thing that people are missing here is, African American women and women of color are the most reliable voting bloc for the Democrats. And white women living on the East Coast are not. So since I'm saying that right now, what would you say to me? Like, what's your response to that?
I don't really have one.
Okay. And Sebastian, Kamala Harris she is a woman of color, and that would be that could help attract African Americans and other minorities to the ticket. But what would you say to someone that would say she's not good because she's not from a state that could flip in 2020, could flip for the Democrats?
Well, I don't think where you're from defines your decisions or your personality. So, or if you're qualified to be a vice president or not. So, that's how I would respond to that. And by looking through all of those vice president potential picks, I definitely like some of them, and I feel more educated about the whole situation, which makes me feel good